Hello ladies and gentlemen, fellow whip enthusiasts, this is Cameron with Cameron Lee Leatherworks. Today I wanted to get a chance to show you a few more whips that I've created recently and also show you possibly what you can enjoy doing with them if you purchase one. To start with, we'll start with the Kangaroo hide whips because they are my favorite. We have a 6-foot target whip. Now this is done in brandy. However, this particular shade of brandy and the hide used here had varying colors, which ended up being quite attractive and a little bit unusual because I'll show you a whip in just a moment. This also brandy in color, has a slightly darker pigment and is much more common. So you see I've got a 5x4 Turk's head knot for the handle. I tend to make my heel knot a little large, very similar to David Morgan in the way that he created his whips. So this has a 12-inch handle, 6mm spring steel on the inside. This whip is relatively lightweight. This is a fantastic cracking whip. I can't say enough about it. We've got a red hide fall and I've got a Dyneema cracker on the end of this. This is perhaps one of my favorites. I really enjoy cracking this whip. Keep in mind this whip is new. It probably has under 30 cracks on it. 98% of the whips that you're going to get from me will have under 50 cracks. I do like to make certain that the whip functions properly prior to sending it out to a customer. So keep that in mind as you break in your new whip. The cracking style that you use will only improve the performance of your whip. So moving along, here is what I call a whippersnapper. This is our 3-foot version, a youth model per se, or if you just wanted to carry a smaller whip with you. Now there are other whip makers out there that make a small whip. However, when I say small, the handle and the heel knot is quite tiny. It's a bit of a novelty item, presumably, for someone to use versatile as a hat band or perhaps to carry in a pocket for recreation in an untypical environment for cracking a whip. However, this one, believe it or not, is designed to be comfortable in the hand, even for an adult. And this is also in the color of brandy. Now this, however, is more of the traditional brandy color. A bit darker, nearly black. Unless you're in direct sunlight, you can only then see the brown hue beneath it. So we'll show you what this one can do and just how fun this can be. Keep in mind, this has been designed to be affordable, sort of an entry-level whip for a child or an adult. So if you have an interest and you don't feel quite like investing currently into a full-size whip, this is a completely fine whip to start with, to give you an idea what it's like to crack one or to discover what you can do with a whip. Alright, here's what we've got this evening. This is a little outside of what I would typically do, being that it's nylon. However, there is a large market for individuals looking for a nylon whip due to its durability, waterproof aspects since this whip is waxed. It's also just a great functioning whip. This is in coyote brown and black. Now, I know that marketed as coyote brown, I felt like that the color would be a bit more brown. I swear it looks olive green to me. But anyway, it's in two-tone, and the pattern is carried all the way out. As I dropped strands, I wanted to make certain that the sequence stayed the same. So this does not have a wrist loop. Some people prefer not, especially when working from horseback. This whip is 8 feet long. It's designed to be able to use from horseback without the risk of having your hand in a wrist loop and then being pulled from your horse if it were to catch on a fence post or a tree limb or anything else. So what we'll do this evening is, in addition to cracking a few of these whips, I'm going to try to make this quick. I don't want this video to be too long, take up too much of your time, but I also want to show you what it can be like to do some target work with a whip. But I'm going to start by rolling this out crack it a few times, and then we'll get to some target work in just a second. So that's what happens when you stand on the ball. Alright, now I'm going to pick up this target whip, and we're going to go through a few of your standard target work routines. So if you'll follow me over here, I want to show you what we're going to use for targets today. This is not uncommon, and I'm definitely not the first person to do it. Oddly enough, the most common target for use with whip cracking is pasta sticks. Forgive me for the small diameter of this, but this is angel hair pasta. There's nothing special about it. A little tiny, probably hard to pick up on camera, but it'll give you guys an idea about how we crack a whip at a target. Now hopefully we can catch this in frame so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Now the most common way to do target work typically is the cattleman's crack, which is the straight over and out front. However, you can sometimes get bored doing the same thing, so I'll try to change the angle of my targets on occasion and do various cracks, because even though target work, so to speak, with a whip is meant for personal entertainment, I like to find some practical value for it. So if I were ever in a situation where I needed to be precise with a whip crack, such as showing up to a birthday party with emphysema, not being able to blow out my candles, perhaps in the future I can use a whip. So if you will, note the pasta stick on the side of this sawhorse. Alright guys, we're going to try to crack at it a couple of times. First, what you want to do is sort of find out where your whip fall will end by slowly swinging the whip out towards your target. Once you realize that with the length of your arm plus the length of your whip and fall and cracker, that you are within range to start snapping at your target. On the backstroke I knocked it off. So you get the general idea. Now please watch as I do a sidearm flick to try and cut some of my pasta sticks without cutting the others on this particular target. As goofy and out-practiced as it may seem, this can be quite enjoyable. It's a lot like planking with a firearm. Pardon the sleeve. So if you enjoy that sort of outdoor activity, or if you share living quarters with someone who will allow some partially destructive activity, this is a fantastic thing to even carry indoors. Now, back to this whippersnapper model. This can be extremely enjoyable for the same purpose, target work. Now, if you guys are interested in getting a Kangaroo hide whip, feel free to contact me at Cameron Lee Leatherworks on Facebook. Also, feel free to drop a comment below. Also, hit that like button for future videos. We'll be coming to you again soon, guys. Take care. Have a great day.